If nothing else got in the way, my family will have no descendants and I'll be the last generation. I don't have a wife or children, so my family will no longer have any poor men. I am okay to be single. What's wrong with it? Many people spend tens of thousands of dollars to marry a wife, but the woman runs away. Rather than spending so much money on the wife and child and then working hard all his life, it is better to be single and live a carefree life. As long as people aren't obsessed with mortgages, car loans, and the wish to continue the family line, they can live a happy life with a monthly salary of $400. The marriage rate in mainland China continues to be low, and local governments continue to introduce various policies to promote marriage. However, due to factors such as high unemployment, many young people have a negative attitude towards the future and marriage. Let's talk about related topics today. As the Chinese New Year approaches, many people working away from their hometowns return to celebrate the holiday. A banner was hung at the entrance of a rural village in Huihua, Hunan province, which read, "You are not allowed to enter the village if you don't bring your girlfriend back." Similar banners can be found in many places in mainland China. Analysts believe that this is a disguised form of urging people to get married and should be a unified arrangement of the CCP's Central Propaganda Department because China's drastic population decline has become a social and political crisis for the CCP. Look, this is the red banner hung on a pavilion at the entrance of a village which read, "You are not allowed to enter the village if you don't bring your girlfriend back." Many people express dissatisfaction with this, saying, "It's unlucky to come across such a village. It's a pity that the people couldn't find wives and now they can't go back to their hometowns." In response, the CCP branch secretary of this village said that the banner had indeed been hung in the village, but denied that it was done by the CCP committee. He said that it was hung by several young people in the village who run self-media and the banner had been removed after it was exposed. In fact, this phenomena exists in many places. Pictures show that a banner reading, "You are not allowed to enter the village if you don't bring your girlfriend back," was hung in Songtong Village, Foshan City, Guangdong Province. We checked on TikTok's Chinese version platform and found that many rural areas in China do indeed have the same banners. A young man from one of the villages even said in the video, "The village chief asked us to catch those who can't find a girlfriend." Currently, China's economy continues to decline, and many youths do not want to get married. They believe that getting married, having children, and taking out loans for housing and cars are all debts and an overdraft on the future. Nowadays, many people are unwilling to get married, and the number is increasing. Do you know the underlying logic behind this social phenomenon? Young people just see no hope for the future. It's that simple. They see no hope. Why is there a baby boom after every war? Why are there so many deaths after a war, and then a baby boom suddenly occurs? Because the turbulent period has passed, and people know that the next period of life will be a peaceful and stable one, with hope and expectation. According to data, in the first half of 2024, 3.43 million couples obtained marriage certificates in mainland China, the lowest number since 1986. Now that China's demographic dividend is gone, the government encourages every family to have children. This blogger believes that this starting point is already wrong. Why are young people nowadays unwilling to get married or have children? I have heard several reasons given by my college teacher, and they are very well explained. The first reason is that people are facing an unknown and uncertain future. Facing an uncertain future, no one dares carry out such a heavy burden. It's like you want to climb a mountain, but you don't know if you can climb over it. How is it possible to carry a 100-pound load? No matter how much money we have now, we dare not use it. How do we know the next year? Maybe the day after tomorrow we will have to lie flat, unable to do anything. Because of the uncertainty of the future, no one dares to take on the burden. Second, our youths today have a very clear view of life and believe that the purpose of life is to be happy. The blogger believes for young people, the first consideration is whether they are happy or not, then is whether to continue the family line. The third is that they have no confidence for the child's growth and have no idea how to be responsible for the kid. For parents, responsibility is not only for material life, but also for the children's cultivation. Nowadays, many people know the pressure of upbringing before they get married. It's not about adding another pair of chopsticks to the family. In the era of our parents, having children was not a big deal. It was just adding another pair of chopsticks, no big deal. The eldest child's clothes can be worn by the second child, and the third child's clothes can be worn by the fourth child. This is definitely not possible now, and we feel we cannot be responsible for our children. Why should he wear ragged clothes, not a new pair of shoes instead? It's not because we have higher material demands, but because we have a stronger sense of responsibility. So we are unable to shoulder this responsibility, so it's better not to take it on from the beginning. The number of marriages in China has been declining for 9 consecutive years. According to the China Population and Employment Statistical Yearbook 2023, sampling survey data showed that the unmarried rate in the 25 to 29 age group was 51% in 2022, and the unmarried rate in the 30 to 34 age group reached 18%. At that time, the unmarried rate in the age group of 25 to 29 is over 50%, topped the Weibo Hot search list with a reading volume of more than 200 million times. Many career women postpone or avoid marriage and childbearing to avoid gender discrimination and unequal treatment. This blogger is 28 years old, working hard in Guangzhou, and has just lost her job. She said that the questions interviewers asked her most often were whether she was married and whether she had children. I have revised my resume but haven't submitted it yet. I'm already trembling with fear at the thought of being asked a few questions by the HR. For women over 25 years old, interviewers will ask if they have children. Are you married? Do you have a boyfriend? I don't really understand what this has to do with working. I always say that I am not in favor of marriage and have no intention of getting married. When I saw their satisfied smiles, I knew it was a sure thing. The lady was laid off, and she said that at the age of 32, she was no longer welcome in the Shenzhen working market. I was laid off. Yes, I was 31 years old when I was laid off last year. In fact, it's still very difficult to find a job in the workplace at the age of 32. That morning, I was meeting with a client when I suddenly received a call from my boss, who told me to fire me because my KPI in South China hadn't been achieved. On the one hand, he said that my age was there. I was already 32 years old. On the other hand, he said that my main problem was the lack of ability, and the company could not keep idle people. Okay, I got it. Then the leader asked me my thoughts, and I said that compensation was definitely required. The leader said I should talk to the human resources department and he would not get involved. In fact, my mood didn't fluctuate too much at that time because layoffs were very normal in this market environment. But what I didn't expect was that he found another person to replace me, and that person's salary was only half of mine. I can understand the company's approach because it's very unlucky to be 32 years old in the Shenzhen market. The average age here is around 28. Ladies of my age who are unmarried and childless face a lot of exclusion and discrimination when looking for a job. Blogger Jasmine recently lost her job and she lamented, "Who would want to date one who doesn't have a job?" Hello everyone, I am 33 years old and was laid off again at the end of the year. While doing live streaming these 2 days, netizens all advised me to find someone to marry as soon as possible. But my question is, in my current situation, is there anyone willing to marry me? If he marries me now, it means he will have to help me pay the $1,400 mortgage every month. Some people say that I have too high requirements for a partner, but this is actually the reality for young people living in Beijing. The blind date that my family introduced to me once told me that he didn't want his quality of life to be affected by his spouse. In fact, this is why there are so many single men and women in big cities. That's a very realistic problem. No one wants to drag each other down. So I just go with the flow while finding a partner, especially now that I've been laid off. What is the reason I have to find a partner? My first priority now is to try my best to survive. Xiao Min is 33 years old and a single woman. She is one of the Beijing drifters, which means migrant workers living and working in Beijing without a residence permit. She has been drifting in Beijing, this prosperous yet challenging city, for more than 10 years. However, just recently she was laid off. Today is the sixth day since I lost my job. During these 6 days, I returned to my hometown, which I had not seen for a long time, trying to find a little spiritual comfort in the familiar environment. Every day, I try my best to keep myself calm and not think about my unemployment. However, this peace was completely broken yesterday. When I learned that the colleague who was laid off with me had found a new job, my heart was instantly filled with inexplicable anxiety. I started to get anxious and began to self-reflect. I knew I couldn't just stay like this and I should find a job as soon as possible. Although it's difficult to find a job at the end of the year, what if you can find one? After all, the rental fee in Beijing is $550 per month, and the social insurance costs $270. Not counting other expenses, the total cost is $820. Without a source of income, I'm like an ant in the hot pot, keeping on running around. After careful consideration, I bought a ticket back to Beijing without hesitation. Although I am reluctant to leave my hometown, I have to embark on the journey again for the sake of life. This is a road full of unknowns and challenges. The blogger's husband is unemployed and has no income for more than 2 years. He lies in bed all day and scrolls through his phone. She feels helpless about such a life, but the husband also has his own difficulties. I'm under a lot of pressure right now. Every day when I go shopping for groceries, I try to buy cheap ones. Can't you just find a job and do it first? Even if you only earn 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000 RMB, at least make our family survive. Why me? What do you mean? I don't want to be exploited. There is really hopeless. Blogger Big Victory Lee is 33 years old and still unmarried and childless. She said that she had gone on blind dates frequently before but felt that nothing worked out, so she gradually gave up hope in men. I used to go on blind dates often, the same as the single female friends around me. Based on my own experience, I have concluded that men of the same age as us are either mama's boys or stingy, or have an ugly appearance, are short and fat, and their shortcomings are obviously greater than their strengths. It's not that we don't want to get married, but we have to passively accept this result. We have no hope for men, but we can't live with girls, right? You can't always be stuck in the feeling of loneliness and feel sorry for yourself. You must live this life happily. Also, as getting older, I get used to living alone, and it becomes difficult to enter into an intimate relationship. This blogger also holds a negative view of marriage. I am 33 years old, not married, and have no children. I have been unemployed for more than a year and definitely have no ability to repay the debts I owe. Given my current condition, no one would want me. At this age, when everything costs money, I really can't do anything. I really have been working hard, and I know my youth is over. As time goes by, I no longer had my previous pride, and I lost my original self. One best-selling author, Da Bing, was chatting with netizens in a live stream. A father complained that his child was still not married at the age of 25. Da Bing asked in return, "Does your family have a throne to inherit?" Let's listen to how Da Bing guides the father. It's not that we can't afford to get married or buy an apartment. We have the ability, so why doesn't he get married? Because he doesn't want to. Is it related to the people he is in contact with, or does something stimulate him? You don't respect him as an independent individual, he just doesn't want to. An adult earns his own money, has independent financial ability, and does not rely on his parents. Under such circumstances, people can completely choose their own economic and relationship. That's right, no one is allowed to interfere. Why doesn't he have the right to decide how to live his life, but has to listen to you? I said you don't want the marriage now. When will you want it? The people of your age already have kids who can run around. However, many youths his age have parents who bought them villas and let them drive Rolls Royces. Don't compare them like that. If you want to compare children, then compare the parents first. Compared to those parents, I don't have the same ability to give him so much money. The child never asked anything from you. Why do you want to ask anything from him now? The only obligation he has to you is to support your future. If keeping on worrying, you will only add to your troubles. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. We appreciate your support and we'll see you next time.